Medford High School M Club banquet. We do have a few invited guests I'd like to recognize at this time. From the school committee, over here, Ed Nolan, Lena DiGiantomaso, and Michael Marks. From the Medford Daily Mercury, Dave O'Connor. From the high school submasters, Mr. Dan Ross, Mr. Dave Pocari, Mr. Steve Maskell, and Miss Rosemary Trainer. Dr. Kruger was here earlier. There's something at the high school. He's going up to that. He will be back later on for the awards presentation. We also have, every year when we go to put this on, when me and Mr. Manatol took this over 7 or 8 years ago from Mr. Grandy, in order to put it on, you have to make a few phone calls. And you have to know who the people are who get things done. And as soon as we took it over, we called Joe Barletta, who takes care of all the plaques. We call Marty Murphy, who takes care of the catering. We call Tony Lucci, who does everything. And Tony Lucci, Medford Square Sporting Goods, was invited tonight, was all set to come. He showed up at 5 o'clock tonight and told me he wasn't feeling very good and was sorry he couldn't make it, and then proceeded to help me carry in the boxes of plaques and the boxes of trophies, and spent half an hour doing all the work, and then said he had to go home. But he's 78 years old and he comes every year. And another guy who always gets things done for the M Club, Mr. Tony Lucci. Could everybody please rise for the grace? Oh Lord, bless this food we are about to consume. Bless the adults here tonight. May they continue to accept their job as role models and teachers for the young children of our community. And bless and guide these student athletes, especially the seniors who are about to finish their careers at Medford High School and enter a new adventure. May your wisdom and guidance stay with them. Amen.
Days of the M Club, when there was plenty of money at the high school, they used to give each athlete a sweater and a letter when they earned their letter. Unfortunately, due to tight economic times, that hasn't been the case for the last 20 years or so. We've always felt bad that we never had anything to give to our letter winners. We called them letter winners and never actually gave them a letter. And then along came the Mustang Club, and the Mustang Club, we went to them with a proposal about donating letter plaques, and the Mustang Club was gracious enough to agree to pay for this. This is the 3rd year they've done it. It's a very nice plaque, as you're about to see, and we are very appreciative of their efforts. At this time, I'd like to call on 2 members of the Mustang Club to assist with the first part of the presentation, Stan Coleman and Ben Haverburn. As we call your name off, please come up to receive your letter plaque. Following athletes, 1 letter and 1 sport. Stephanie Chin, outdoor track. Please hold your applause, okay, until we're done with each group. Linda Corbett, basketball. Jamie Dollar, softball. Doug Hallenberg, tennis. Eric Jenkins, soccer. Guy Lombardo, soccer. Steve McGlashing, football. Evans Maloran, soccer. Keith Sheridan, tennis. Melissa Tinarello, tennis. Derek Vasquez, football. Keith Wilson, football. Following athletes, 2 letters in 1 sport. Teresa DeMeo, volleyball. Michael Harris, basketball. Jamon Long, basketball. Brad Manganzini, lacrosse. tennis. John Matthews, soccer. Kevin Moody, baseball. Okay, assisting with the next group, we have from the Mustang Club, Bill Carr and Joe Grandy.
John, that was quick. Nice job.
Hey, guys.
Salva Pesaritas, soccer.
Fast.
Andy Russo, volleyball. Sarah Sinopoulos, lacrosse. Mark White, lacrosse. Following athletes received 2 letters in 2 sports. Jason Angelesco, tennis and soccer. Neil McSweeney, tennis and soccer. Tim Polari, baseball and indoor track. Robert Chadburn, indoor track and outdoor track.
Okay.
Following athletes received 3 letters in 1 sport. Ralph Capozzi, baseball. Sandy Chalou, volleyball. Portia Lee, cheering. Steve Parnell, lacrosse. Heather Nevers, tennis. John Ronzio, golf. Jen Ward, softball. David White, basketball. Following athletes received 3 letters in 2 sports. Mike Goggin, football and lacrosse. Chris Randy, soccer and basketball. Ryan Mitchell, baseball and indoor track. John Sassides, football and lacrosse. Okay, the next group of presenters from the Mustang Club will be Craig Fallon, Kyle Sincotti. And the following athletes are receiving 4 letters in 1 sport. Julie Alves, cheering. Rosemary Baker, volleyball. Lauren Caraviello, cheering. Robin Chiragala, tennis. Brian Frazier, tennis. Josh Hansen, hockey. Angela Lepori, tennis. John Amollis, soccer. John Sheehan, hockey. Okay, the following athletes received 4 letters in 2 sports. Scott Carmen, football and lacrosse. CJ Doherty, soccer and lacrosse. Mike Fahey, football, baseball. Adam Locken, lacrosse and golf. Darren Moutre, gymnastics and lacrosse. Gene Almanord, cross country. The following athletes received 4 letters in 3 sports. Gene Almanord, cross country, indoor track and outdoor track. Dan Shea, cross country, indoor track and outdoor track. Following athletes received 5 letters in 2 sports. Adi Camuso, track and football. Melissa Coonrad, cheering and softball. Kate Mullally, softball and volleyball. Following athletes received 5 letters in 3 different sports. Craig Howe, baseball, hockey, and soccer. John Tancredi, football, indoor track, and lacrosse. Okay, our final pair of presenters from the Mustang Club will be Guy Martirana and Joe Fortunato. And they will be presenting, leading off with athletes who received 6 letters in 2 different sports. Wayne Doyley, basketball and football. Pat McCarthy, football and baseball. Rahana Vadaya, tennis and volleyball. Kerry Ann Waite, outdoor track and indoor track. Receiving 7 letters in 2 different sports, Randall Boravecchio, softball and track. 7 letters in 3 sports, Anna Angeliri in soccer, softball, and basketball. Receiving 8 letters in 2 sports, Tavon Bowden, indoor track, outdoor track. Receiving 8 letters in 3 different sports, Mike Bourne, soccer, basketball, outdoor track. Receiving 9 letters in 3 different sports, Allison Goldsberry, cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. Also receiving 9 letters in 3 sports, Peter Kopzik, football, indoor track, and lacrosse.
Go. Who do you want the picture of? Next one. He doesn't care. Nah, we're doing all right.
Receiving 9 letters in 4 different sports, Dan Sensible, hockey, golf, baseball, and outdoor track. Receiving 10 letters in 3 sports, Matt Duggan, cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. Letters in 3 different sports, Anthony Berriola, cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. Also receiving 11 letters in 3 sports, Lauren Campbell, soccer, basketball, and softball.
I hope the hell this is all about focus. I'm not doing it.
Receiving 12 letters in 3 sports, Jordan Jones, cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. Also receiving 12 letters in 3 sports, Lauren Kong, cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. Okay, we have an additional presentation that was started last year. I came back to the high school last year after attending one of my children's sports banquets in Stoneham, where they recognized the captains. And I thought, gee, we've never done anything for the captains. Wouldn't it be nice to do something for the captains? And my partner in crime at the high school, Mr. Zampel, heard me, said, I know what we can do, and he would donate something to recognize the captains. So he has donated, okay, something to put on your plaque that denotes that you're a captain, also denotes how many sports you're a captain of. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to him. Please come up with your plaque as your name is called off, and remain up here until we've got everyone up here.
Thank you, Mr. Manitow. For the second year, I've had the distinct pleasure to honor all our senior captains. The captains are our leaders. And to quote the great Vince Lombardi, leaders are made, they are not born. They are made by hard effort, the price that all of us must pay to achieve any goal worthwhile. This year, there were 40 senior captains in 23 sports. We had 5 athletes who each captained 3 sports. We had 6 athletes who each captained 2 sports. And we had 29 athletes who captained 1 sport. For the people who captained 3 sports, as I call your name, please come up with your plaque. And we'll have a round of applause for those 5 people. Lauren Campbell, Anthony Barriola, Jordan Jones, Allison Goldsberry, and Lauren Kong. 3 team captains.
You need a picture?
Forget it. Yeah, right here. Well.
The following 6 people who captained 2 teams for us this year: Pat McCarthy, Peter Kopsick, Tavon Bowden, Carrie Ann Waite, Kate Mullally, and Anna Angelari. We had 29 student athletes who captained a team this year. And when I call their name, we're going to have all 29 come up, and we'll have a round of applause for the 29 of them as a group. Dwayne Bioily, Shimon Long, David White, Lauren Caraviello, Julie Alves, Portia Lee, Sarah Senopoulos, Karen Moutry, Mike Fahey, John Tancredi, Jonathan Ronzio, Sean Sheehan, Josh Hansen, John Satsidas, Stephen Marnell, Danny Shea, Jean Almanard, Matt Duggan, Candy Russo, Rosemary Baker, Chris Grandy, Mike Bourne, CJ Doherty, Shauna Mullis, Randall Paravecchio, Brian Frazier, Robin Cherilat, Angela Lapori, and Heather Evers, 29 captain student athletes.
On a trophy. Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me, can we quiet down, please? We do have an awful lot of awards and presentations we'd like to announce tonight. And in order to do that, I know we have a big crowd. If we could keep it as quiet as possible and listen so that those people who are receiving things can get their full due. Before we get on with the awards, the senior letter plaques that you received tonight. Can I have your attention, please? As Mr. Manitow said, these letter plaques, this is the third year that we have done them. And they are gifts of the Mustang Club of Medford, which was formed 4 years ago by a gentleman, Marty Murphy, and some other guys who are over here tonight. We have a table over here. I'd like to read off some names. This year's president, Mr. Craig Fallon. Secretary, Mr. Bill Carr. Joe Grandy, Joe Barletta, Stan Coleman, Carlson Cardi, Joe Fortunato, Ben Averbook, and George Stewart. When this club started 4 years ago, their goal was to provide for the young kids in the city of Medford. And one of the first things they did was start a scholarship fund. And for the last 3 years, they have a scholarship banquet in May, and they have given out $500 scholarships to student athletes at Medford High School. They've had guest speakers who have come back, former Medford High School athletes. Jimmy Reed came back 3 years ago. Mike Pagliarulo, Joe and David Sacco last year. And this year we have, if you look in the book, one of the former Phelan Award winners, Dave McGilvery, who was a former long-distance runner and cross-country runner at the high school, and has gone on, is now the director of the Boston Marathon. He's coming this year to be the guest speaker. I do have an announcement tonight. The Mustang Club scholarships this year have been selected by the Mustang Club, and the banquet this year is May 27th, 2 weeks from Thursday night right here. And this year's winners of the Mustang Club scholarships, $500, Patrick McCarthy, Daniel Sensabaugh, Warren Campbell, and Anna Angeleri. Also, in conjunction with the Mustang Club Banquet, we have 2 Michael Patterson scholarships that are presented by the Patterson family the same night. And those winners this year of the Patterson scholarships, also $500, Lauren Caraviello, and Michael Goggin. A few minutes ago, we gave the senior letter plaques. The criteria for a senior letter plaque is you need to play a varsity sport as a senior. We have one more senior letter plaque to give out to a special young lady who, playing athletics does take a lot of work. This girl has had to endure more in the last year and a half than the rest of this auditorium combined, and we do have a senior letter plaque for 3 sports, 5 varsity letters, cheering, outdoor track, and cross country, Lynn Patterson. These plaques that the seniors have were designed and put together by former Medford High School coach and science teacher Joe Barletta of Mission Road. Before we call on Mr. Manatol to get started with the Unsung Hero Awards, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, there are some people you need to know to get anything done. And ever since we started, these Unsung Hero Awards have been donated generously and graciously by a couple of gentlemen who, you know, if you ask them something, the answer is always yes. It doesn't matter what you ask, they're gonna do anything and everything they can for anybody at Medford High School. And I do want to recognize these 3 gentlemen, Joe Grandy, Bill Carr, and Joe Barletta.
Okay, we're going to begin the presentation of the Unsung Hero Awards. Leading off, we have boys basketball, head coach Chris Botley.
Our Unsung Hero Award goes to a young man who's a classic overachiever. He's undersized by 4 or 5 inches at his position. He's slow of foot, except in crunch time, but he's intelligent and he has great basketball savvy. He's a student athlete and an all-around great person who many of the teachers and administrators at the high school are very proud to have known. He led our team in rebounding. He was a captain on our GBL championship team, which was 19-3. He had 2 game-winning shots this season and countless other big plays. He missed the GBL All-Star team by 1 vote and promptly scored 28 points the next night against a player from Peabody that beat him out. He will attend UMass Lowell in the fall and attempt to overachieve once again by playing at the Division II college level. He has made me laugh every day since I began coaching him. He will be a great success in the future, and he will be a friend of mine for life. Our unsung hero is Mr. Shimon Long.
knows we didn't let him give a speech. We know better. Next up, we have girls basketball. The head coach here in Adelino Calvis. He's also the junior varsity baseball coach at Malden Catholic, and he's stuck down in Westwood. The Catholic Conference is known for not having very much pitching, so he's down there in a long game. So pinch hitting for him, we have assistant coach Lee Ames.
I'm not going to give a big speech, but this person did a great job for the team this year. This year's unsung hero goes to Mo Toomey.
Next up, we have the Unsung Hero Award for cheerleading, head coach Gerald Fortunato.
This year's Unsung Hero Award could have gone to a number of girls, but when Lisa and I looked over the squad, we realized that a lot of times the only kids on the squad that get the credit are the ones that are always on top, that everybody looks at in the spotlight. And I always tell my girls, if it wasn't for the people underneath you, you wouldn't be up there and you wouldn't be getting all the recognition. And one of the girls on our team, who nobody ever notices, is she's always there. She always gives 110%. And this year's Unsung Hero Award goes to Stacy DeVane.
Okay, next up we have football, Coach Dr. William Baldini.
This year's Unsung Hero goes to a kid who's has played football for 4 years. He's also a member of the lacrosse team. He plays in the offensive line for us. In football, there's nothing more than being more of an unsung hero than being an offensive lineman on a team that goes 1-8. So this guy really put his heart and effort into everything he did. He worked real hard here for all 4 years. He turned himself into a very good offensive lineman for us, and he led the way for Pat McCarthy and Mike Bailey and Steve Chaussee and those guys. This year's Unsung Hero goes to Scotty Carmen.
Next up we have golf, head coach Frank Jewett.
Thank you, Mr. Naratol. This year's Unsung Hero for the golf team, the 99 version of the golf team, goes to a person who's played for 4 years, and he's had some great success in those 4 years. He's really improved. He was a great person when he started, and he's a better person now when he's finished. All right, I'd like to congratulate J.D. Sensabaugh for a fantastic work. And please excuse me, while I'm up here, I'd like to give out a personal award, the Most Valuable Player Award, voted on by the team. And this year's recipient is a 3-year player. He's also a junior co-captain. He's an all-star, GBL all-star, and he's played in the state tournament. Captain Joe Perry.
Next up we have gymnastics, head coach, new mother, is Josie Penza.
Thank you. I want to thank the whole gymnastics team for showing up tonight. I think that's great. We're showing a lot of commitment and dedication, and that's what part of what sports is all about. So thank you, girls, very much. I have 2 awards to give tonight. I guess it was my prerogative. I couldn't choose. I was indecisive. The first one I'm going to give is the Most Valuable Highest Scorer Award, and we are proud to present the Medford High School Gymnastics 1998-99 Highest Scoring MVP Award to a talented, graceful gymnast who has been a pleasure not only to work with, but watch and perform. And because of this, the award, Senior Captain Karen Moutry, the highest scoring MVP award. Karen, come on up here. Karen, come on up. Karen's also going to Tufts University. Just found out she's got a very big scholarship for academics. Congratulations, Karen. The unsung hero is one that demonstrates commitment, dedication, and leadership qualities to the future of Medford gymnastics. This individual also demonstrates team spirit and the willingness to step up and go beyond what's expected of her. Her enthusiasm is contagious to all who work with her. We too, as coaches, are enthusiastic and proud to present this year's unsung hero to a freshman who chases butterflies, who works real hard, has been the most improved this year, Andrea Collins.
Next up, we have hockey head coach Charlie Driscoll.
Are you ready, Joe? Joe Brady's got me timed. Craig Howell wrote the speech for me, so I know it's going to be brief. Go. Go. I don't know whether you should call this award for hockey this year the Unsung Hero Award or the Survivor Award. But the recipient of this award looks like he's going to have bookends by the time the night's over. Is a 3-year player, 14th in his class, went through the entire season without one minor penalty. A great kid. I think he's going to the Juilliard School of Music because he's quite a piano player, but he's also quite a hockey player. Danny Sensabaugh.
Head coaches Steve Maskell and Jack Dempsey.
First of all, I'd like to recognize my own high school coach, Bud Kelly, and our own athletic director. Now, last week we had a big week in Medford, and the big announcement is that next year, hopefully at this time, Hormel Stadium will be redone. We'll have a new track and a new football field. Now, Coach Kelly has told me that Bill Baldini is going to have that big win on Thanksgiving Day when we're going to dedicate this stadium that's going to take place. Many of our friends, we hope to have lights there also. Many of our friends, Rose Trainer from the Submaster's office, and along with Michael McGlynn and many people around in the city of Medford. We need to thank all of those who have helped. Hopefully in July it's going to start with the new stadium. But Medford will be on the road in football this year. Anyway, we had another great year, and I'd like to thank Coach Dempsey and Small Tom Lynch for his help this year. The two unsung heroes this year are very simple. An indoor track, boy we found laying on the ground a few years ago, Tavon Bowden, and an outdoor track, none other than Dan Shea, the javelin champion.
On the girls' side, for outdoor track, the girl that gets the Unsung Hero Award has been captain 3 times since I've been coaching. She's a tremendous competitor, and she's been our leading scorer on our outdoor track team this year, Terry Ann Wade. Indoor winter track team, we have a girl who you could always see throwing a shot put against the wall, jumping over hurdles, always the last one to leave the track, an extremely dedicated girl and a great athlete, Jessica Colby.
Thank you.
Next up, we have boys soccer head coach George Scarpelli. Wait a minute. I wish the girls acted that way when they were in high school, huh?
I was a lady killer like that in high school, and just Madison remembers. My Unsung Hero Award goes to someone who is now, will be graduating finally from Medford High School. And I can say finally because the reason why I say that, I shouldn't have said it, but the reason why I say that is because he left. He started here at Medford High School, and then he went with his family over to Germany and moved back here to lead us in the offense for GBL championship this year. And he's someone that I'll always remember, and he'll always leave his mark here at Medford High School. It's Sava Pesaritas.
Next up, we have girls soccer head coach Eva Lang.
Okay, this unsung hero has played on varsity soccer team for the past 3 years. She's capable of playing any position, and she has done that. I've changed her position each year that she's played, and has adapted very well without any questions. This year, I moved her position to defense, and without hesitation, she was one of the reasons why we were successful this year. She's a hard-working, committed, unselfish player who is always striving to do her best. She is a 3-time Greater Boston All-Star and will be one of the tri-captains for next year. I am truly fortunate to have this player returning next year to be a major contributor of our success for next year's team. The unsung hero goes to Stephanie McDonald.
Next up, we have softball head coach, the dean himself, Harry Marchetti.
Let me fix my tie. This year's unsung hero goes to GBL All-Star last year, a girl who keeps us in every game. She wears her heart in her sleeve. She goes out there and just gives everything she has. Melissa Coonrad.
Next up, we have swimming head coach Mary Judge.
This year, we didn't have any seniors, but we had a really good team. And I chose 3 unsung heroes. This is a co-ed team, so for the boys, the unsung hero is Travis Yadjian. For the girls, I have two. One is not here right now. She's at the high school at a something's going on with the choir, and that's Katie Vandercloos. But the person that is here is Jacqueline Andrews.
And last, but by no means least, cross-country head coach Lou Ruggiero.
Thank you. Unsung hero of cross country goes for our girl. It's a girl who's been with us the past 4 years. She's our captain this past year, one of our co-captains. She helped the team finish second place. In her quiet way, she was really a leader to the young girls. Unsung hero goes to Allison Goldsberry. For the unsung hero of the boys, the boy who's run for us for 3 years. In his own way, I wouldn't say quiet way, but in his own way helped the boys lead second place in the GBL, and that's the Matt Duggan.
If you've been up at the high school, recently and looked outside of the athletic office, there is a new glassed-in case that has all of the plaques and is saluting all of the GBL champions since 1970 when Medford High School, the new building, was built. And Mr. Ron Zampel, again, was the big force behind that. Since we met last May at this banquet, there are 3 more championship teams that have been added to that collection, and I'd like them to stand to be recognized. Last spring, the 1998 GBL champ girls softball team, Coach Harry Marquetti. This fall, the 1999 GBL champ boys soccer, Coach George Scarpelli. And this winter, we have the 1998-99 GBL co-champs boys basketball team, and Coach Chris Hartley.
Okay, at this time we're going to begin the major awards portion of the program. And our first award is the Francis N. Pelosi Award, and making the presentation, Mr. Bob Skerry.
Last fall, we had 2 great soccer teams at Medford High, both the boys and the girls. The decision was very, very tough. This year's recipient is a young man that will carry on in the traits of Mr. Pelosi, who was a teacher coach at Medford High School. This young man is going to Plymouth State College, played on the basketball team, ran track, and played soccer. Michael Bourne.
Great. Coach, just turn them this way. Great, thanks.
Our next award is the Larry Zarella Senior Award. Making the presentation, the head football coach, Mr. Bill Baldini.
You can have it. I'll be videotaping. I just want to. Yeah, you got away. Yeah, good.
I'd like to just read real quick what the award is before I give it out. The Larry Zarella Senior Award, Memorial Award, was established by the Zarella family in 1990 in memory of Larry Zarella Sr. Larry was selected captain and voted most valuable player on the 1939 Medford High School football team. The award goes to a Medford High School senior football player who best epitomizes Larry Zarella Sr. through his diligent work and leadership abilities on and off the field. This also has a special meaning to me because this was the first award I ever gave when I came here at Medford High School, and he's there on my staff today. It was Keith Bevins in 1995. The kid who's getting this award tonight deserves this award because this is him to a T, diligent work and leadership abilities. He's a tight end and linebacker on the football team. He's a midfielder on the lacrosse team. He also kicked extra points for us. He didn't miss any on Thanksgiving morning. He's also a punter. He made one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in high school football on our first drive on a one-handed catch from Mike Fahey. Next year he's going to University of Lowell, and we wish him all the luck in the world, and we're going to miss him very much. And he also lives in the esteemed part of the city, which I choose to call the Morrison Park Estates. My next door neighbor, Peter Cobson. Favorite track.
All right, for there, guys. One more.
Our next award is the Patricia M. Grandy Memorial Award. Making the presentation, Mrs. Jerry Grandy and Cheryl Fortunato.
The Patricia Marie Grandy Memorial Award was established by the Grandy family in memory of Patricia M. Grandy, a Medford High School graduate. This award is presented annually to a senior varsity cheerleader who exemplifies determination, skill, dedication, and team spirit. This award will be presented to the cheerleader who has been able to give her team 100% during game or competition. I was very fortunate to know Patricia Grandy. Her niece cheered for me during one of my first years many, many years ago when I first started coaching at Medford High School. And she would sit at the football games and watch her niece, and she absolutely loved to watch the girls perform. I know she would be very proud if she was here today to see the young lady who has won this award, because she is what Medford High School cheerleading is all about. This is why we win championships. This is why she was part of the national championship squad last year. She is a straight A student all 3 quarters this year at Medford High School. She will be attending UMass Amherst in the fall. It is with great pleasure that I announce the winner of the Patricia Marie Grandy Memorial Award to Lauren Carviello. Along with this award, there is a $500 scholarship to put towards her college tuition.
One more. Hold on. Okay, great.
Okay, before we move on to the next award, I'd just like to acknowledge the presence of 2 very important people in the Medford Public School System. Our headmaster, Dr. Paul Kruger, and a former athlete and member of the M Club himself, our superintendent of schools, Mr. Roy Belson. Our next award is the Mark Comfort Memorial Scholarship. Making the presentation, our head track coach, Mr. Steve Maskell.
The Mark Comfort Memorial Scholarship Award is dedicated in the memory of the late Mark Comfort, one of Medford's greatest distance runners. He achieved to be one of the best runners ever to compete at Medford High School. The award is given to the runner who has demonstrated excellent ability and dedication, as well as the same spirit of competition, as Mark noted. The trophy is donated by Purdy Valentine, and the funding for the scholarship grant is provided by the 500 Club. Some of the award winners before were Coach Tom Lynch, who was one of our first winners. And the award winner this year is going to be attending a school in Boston. He's going to be running, probably one of the best runners that's come out of Medford High School, distance runners in a long time. And we're still running after his race today, 2 wins today. None other than Jordan Jones.
I've heard of you guys. Great. One more.
Our next award is the Bud Stillman Soccer Award. Making the presentation, former head soccer coach, Mr. Joe Barletta.
Thank you, Paul. First of all, I'd like to extend my congratulations to Mark Smith and Paul Mattertall. I think they deserve a hand for all the hard work they put into this night. Many people here probably do not know Bud Stillman. I know our superintendent, Mr. Belson, remembers Mr. Stillman very well. Coach Skerry remembers Mr. Stillman very well. He was probably one of the greatest coaches in the history of Medford High School. He was a man who not only taught and coached soccer, but taught you how to be a gentleman and prepare you for the days when your high school career was over. Back in about 20 years ago, Mr. Bill Flannery, who has since now passed on, and myself, along with a few other alumni, decided to put something together to honor the memory of Mr. Stillman. We wanted to honor someone that exemplified the qualities that Mr. Stillman instilled in all of us who played for him. We were looking for a young man who demonstrated outstanding sportsmanship on the field of play. Someone who was dedicated to the sport of soccer and dedicated to his teammates. We were looking for someone that had that spirit of what today we call Mustang pride. And this goes back many years ago. And also had that desire to be the best that you can be. It's been my pleasure to meet this young man only a few times, and believe me, I came away very impressed. And I'm sure Mr. Stillman, wherever he may be, will be looking down and be proud of the selection that we made. This young man has shown tremendous leadership on the soccer field. He is a gentleman, and I'm very impressed with him. I'm sure he's going to go on to have a great career in soccer, and also after his playing days are over. Someday, maybe I'll see him playing for the Revolution. And I'm proud to present this award to Captain C.J. Doherty.
Okay, before we move along with the next award, I'd like to once again call the head swimming coach, Mary Judge, up.
I had said that there were 3 people who received the Unsung Hero Awards, and one was at a band concert at the high school, and finally she's here. And the 3rd Unsung Hero from Medford High is Katie Vanderkloot.
Our next award is the Friends of Medford High School Award. Making the presentation, our head cross-country coach, Mr. Lou Ruggiero.
Thank you, Mr. Malco. Friends of Medford High School Award goes to an individual who has outstanding attitude and leadership for their team, whether it's for a boy or a girl, who shows quality of a leader. This particular individual I've had the pleasure to know since she's been in elementary school. She worked her way up. She's done 12 seasons of sports at Medford High School. That's a lot of time committed to the school. She shows that she's a leader. She led our cross-country team this past year to second place. Unfortunately, besides receiving a trophy, if you have to notice, there's a small, well, I would say small, rather large cut on her leg that she received last year at a league championship. She fell down, probably the worst injury I've ever seen a runner ever received. She took about 22 stitches in her leg. But she got up, she still finished and helped the team win a league championship that day. She's a tough little girl. I'm really going to miss her, Lauren Kong.
Guys, Lauren.
Our next award is the Friends of Angel Torres Award and Scholarship. At this time, I'd like to call on the Torres family, Elaine, Ariane, and Angel to come up and make the presentation. This is a very special award for those of us who knew Angel and worked with Angel. The winner of this award is picked by a committee of 3, made up of Mr. Frank Jewett, Mr. Mark Smith, and myself. And this award is not given lightly, because Angel Torres meant a lot to the 3 of us and many of you here. Unfortunately, you student athletes were deprived of the chance to ever get to know this man. Angel was a physical education teacher at the high school. He was the head boys basketball coach at the high school. Stood about 6'8", he was a giant of a man. And we always called him the gentle giant, because he was a true gentleman. He always demanded certain things from his players, that they always display character, integrity, sportsmanship, and scholarship. And he demanded that from his players, and he got it from his players. If you look at the list in your program of previous winners, you can see that we've started to put together a tremendous all-star team. Ed Kahn, Celine Toomey, Luca Bain, John Guyona, Chris LaGiudice, Chris Jones, Elise LePay, Linda Shula, and Nicole Fortino. If you know those student athletes, you know that they are outstanding people. Tonight we add another name to that list, and this is someone that I know that Angel would have loved, because one other thing that Angel had was a tremendous sense of humor. Many of us were the butt of some practical jokes of his, but he had a great sense of humor, and he loved this young man. I know he would. This guy is one of the most popular guys at the high school. I know in conversations I've called him the mayor of Medford High School with his head coach, and he's agreed. He's already been up here once tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 1999 Angel Torres Award and Scholarship, number 30, Shaman Long. Still not giving him the microphone. We know about it. Okay, next award. The Ken Cooper Memorial Scholarship, making the presentation, my partner, Mr. Mark Smith.
This is the 15th year that the M Club is presenting 2 Ken Cooper Memorial Scholarships. If you look again at the list of past winners in your program book, there's an impressive list of former Mustang student athletes. This year we add 2 more names to the list. Kenny Cooper was a member of the Medford School Committee. And he was on the school committee because he was concerned with the young kids of Medford. He was always down the park, learning kids' names, asking what he could do to help out, helping kids play softball or football. He used to hold the stakes at the football games with his cowboy hat. He was a businessman in West Medford. He owned a sub shop. And what he did each week was he named sandwiches after Medford High School athletes. When I was growing up, I could go down to Cooper's sub shop and buy a Harry Marchetti sandwich. Large meatball, Harry, right? In his memory, the M Club presents 2 $100 scholarships to seniors who have exhibited selflessness, a willingness to put their team performance ahead of personal performance. And these awards must be applied for. The first winner I get to give out tonight was a 2-sport athlete, and I was lucky because he played the 2 sports that I coached. I've coached at Medford High School for 17 years. I've coached 42 seasons. There are 4 players who have stood out in this time with not only the talent and the ability, but also the character and integrity. When I go down occasionally and play a lottery number, I play my 4 daughters' birthdays, and I also play the numbers of these 4 kids who have stood out in my coaching tenure. Number 45, Eddie Kahns. Number 30, Sean Connor. Number 22, Chris Jones. And the new one this year in the Cooper Scholarship, number 23, Patrick McCarthy. I'd like to call on attending his first M Club banquet to present the second Cooper Scholarship, Dr. Kruger.
It's a pleasure to be attending my first M Club banquet. I've heard a lot about this evening ever since I drove into town last summer. I would like to remind the students at this time that a lot of work went into tonight's banquet. 15 or 18 years in the cases of some parents who've been working to bring up their kids and give them the advantages that are involved in athletics. A lot of work has been done on the parts of the advisors of the M Club. And as you know, a good many of these awards tonight are made in honor of people who are no longer with us, but who have made significant contributions to the athletic community in Medford. And so I would like the students here tonight to understand that when other people are speaking in honor of you and your classmates, and in honor of people who have passed away, we can't have any talking. This is a ceremony, and we all need to take it very seriously. I have the pleasure of honoring a young lady who has served as sophomore class president and is the captain of the winter track, spring track, and cross-country teams. And it's a pleasure to present Lauren Kahn.
Guys, ready? One more. Excellent, thank you.
Our next award is the Golden Mustang Award, making the presentation, our athletic director and Steve Masco's mentor, Mr. Bud Kelly.
Thank you, Paul. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Manical, Mrs. Smith, for the fantastic amount of work and the organized event we have here tonight. I'd like to compliment, congratulate all the parents, the athletes, the cheerleaders especially. And needless to say, the great support that we've had from the administrators, the teachers, the superintendent, the headmaster, up and down the line. There's another member of the school committee who's out there doing a little extra work, Ms. Fuller, Beth. Ms. Fuller? Beth, you're here, we want you in here. Come in here. The unique thing about this award that I'm going to make a presentation is very difficult to kind of conceal the identity of the individual. This individual, for me, is more than just a great guy, he's a great educator, because I think he sets examples in the school, in the gym, off and on the fields. It's not unique to have someone like this be near you every day and not appreciate what he's doing. Needless to say, I'm still teaching social studies, etc., but this gentleman works in the athletic department most of the time, but really in the phys ed department. He's very close to all of us. He has tremendous influence. He's a caring person. He sets by example. It's not a unique situation to go into the cages, and whether you're an athlete or a non-athlete, he sets the example. He leads by example in the dignity that he amplifies and suggests by his role in the school is head and shoulders above many people his age and older. But believe me, he's a great person. He not only has promoted the entire athletic program and the physical education program here at the school, but he's added to the whole program at Medford High School, which is so important, academics #1. All the deeds that he's accomplished, whether they be small or big, he does with the same enthusiasm. It's very difficult to maintain secrecy, but this gentleman, if I said I need the blackboard cleaned for a big game, he'd be cleaning it. It was not uncommon for him to take the mop and clean the floor in the gymnasium. When I needed chaperones to take care of athletic teams going in tournaments, basketball and hockey, he was there. He's a great individual. If you walk up the foyer by the community school and you see the big signs about Mustang Country, and Mr. Smith gave it away when he talked about the great day that he did with the carpenters and the custodians, recognizing all the greater Boston League champions that we've had since 1980. This guy has what blue and white is all about. Integrity, enthusiasm, all the intrinsic values that we look for in a role model. So gentlemen, young men and women, Ronnie Zampal is the award.
Totally caught off guard here. I'm never usually lost for words, but I just want to thank everyone here tonight, from the top to the bottom, and especially all the student athletes. It's for you. Thank you.
Malden Catholic is in the 14th inning, I guess, down in Westwood, so we need another pinch hitter here. So giving out the Ray Romano Award will be Dr. William Baldini.
Again, I just want to read, I know this is a special award for Coach Adolino, and I know it means a lot to him because this was a very good friend of Coach Adolino. Ray Morano played fullback for Coach Del Iasola in the Mustangs in 1955 and 56, a strong athlete. Romano became ill during the 1955 season, but remained a member of the team and played in several games that season. His illness, later diagnosed as leukemia, took his life in January of 1956. The award is donated by Mr. Adolino, a former teammate and close friend of Ray Romano, and Ernie will tell a story each year that he was up here. They were playing, I think it was Somerville, and Ray had caught the 35, 45-yard touchdown, and Ernie ran and he met him in the end zone, and Ray said to him, you know, Ernie, I think this is the last game that I'm going to be playing, and he didn't know what was wrong with him at that time. You know, so That left a strong, obviously, impression on Coach Adolino's heart. It means a lot to him, so I hope I gave that raise due. This goes to a Medford High School football player who's displayed courage, desire, and determination. You know, we get a magazine, and I put up all those articles up in the magazine, up in the walls of the weight room from Bigger, Faster, Stronger, and today a new one came in, and we were reading it with some of the kids, and you talk about athletes today, and everyone's got excuses for everything, and nobody stands up for themselves or takes responsibility in a lot of things. This kid does that. There was a kid in this article who he's on the baseball team. He batted 436. He hit 2 home runs. He was a running back and a nose guard on the football team, a 15-0 state championship team. You know, and the name of the article was Finding a Way. You know what the amazing thing is with this? He did this with one arm. He was a killer in the weight room and all that. This kid who's getting this tonight reminded me of that kid when I was thinking about that. Not any major physical defects. He didn't have anything like that. He had to overcome obstacles, and the obstacles that he had to overcome was he wasn't the greatest athlete when he came into Medford High School. He worked hard. They were not obstacles, they were hurdles, and he overcame each one of them. You know, I always tease him and tell him he couldn't walk and chew bubble gum when he was a freshman. You know, but you know what? He was in the weight room every day. In the spring, when everyone else took off, he'd be in there. You know, he'd be in there doing his plyometrics, doing his running, always, you know, getting the crap kicked out of him on the football field when he was a freshman and sophomore, and then slowly as a junior, you start to see him develop. He just worked his butt off, and he became our best offensive lineman last year. And to see a kid grow from that up until his senior year and overcome all those things, you know, he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the most athletic. He was a mean kid, which is what you need in football, and he never wanted to get off the practice field. He enjoyed practicing football, and I'll tell you what, I've been involved with football since 1974, and I have a lot of kids that can say that. This kid's a special kid. He's also a member of the lacrosse team. He plays in the defense. Goes this year, the Ray Romano Award goes this year to John Zeus Satsidas.
Our next award is the John F. Feely Jr. Memorial Sports Scholarship. Making a presentation, former Medford High School athlete and coach, and current submaster, Mr. Dave Polcari.
Thank you, Mr. Manatol. Many years ago, when I was a junior high school student down at the Roberts, where many of you young people went to school, I met a young man by the name of John Feely. And we became lasting friends through junior high school, through our years at Medford High School, where we played several sports together. And when you're in high school, you think, well, you know, I've got tons of friends, and I'm going to keep these friends all my life, and I'm going to see them every day, or at least often throughout the course of my life. And it doesn't always work that way, because people go on to do different things, and they go different places, and they pursue different interests. But John Feely remained my friend, my very best friend, until the day that he passed away over 8 years ago. And he had many outstanding attributes. First and foremost, he was just that, a very good friend. He was always there for you. And if you can have someone like that in your life, it's a great help. He was a hard-nosed athlete. He played the game hard, he played it fair. And even through injury, and he did have some injuries in high school, he played the game very, very fiercely and very hard.
Well, life dealt John Feely a cruel blow when he was in his early 40s. He came down with a dreadful disease, and he fought it as hard as he could. And a lot of friends were there by his side as he fought that disease, and it overcame him, and he succumbed to cancer when he was 42 years old. But he fought, and he fought hard. His family wanted to not only honor their son, but they wanted to honor someone at Medford High School over the course of many years. And so they got together and they came up with the John F. Feely Memorial Scholarship. And we've had some outstanding winners over the course of the last 7 years. This is the 8th annual Feely Award. And I think we have another outstanding winner tonight. I like to get take the opportunity to talk to students in the corridors whenever possible. And this young man, I've stopped on occasion, even though he's not a member of the sophomore class, the class that I work with. But I stop him often and I ask, what's going on? Where are you going to school? What schools have you applied to? I've seen him in the athletic arena, working hard, working as hard as he possibly can to perform to the top of his capabilities. So I know that he's an outstanding young person, and he's going to be successful later on in life. And to make the presentation, I'm going to turn this over now to John's oldest son, Jason Feely.
First off, I'd like to thank Mr. Bokhari. Past 8 years, he gives a great speech. Secondly, I'd like to thank my family for coming each year to give this prestigious award. This year's John F. Feely Memorial Sports Scholarship goes to Daniel Sensabaugh.
One more. Thank you.
Our next two awards are the Medford High School Coaches Awards. Making the award the male winner, Mr. George Scarpelli. Ladies, need I remind you he's getting married in June?
Hello? Okay. Everybody hear me? No? Okay, I'll speak a little louder then. Medford High School Coaches Award is an award that started in 1992 and sponsored by the Medford High School Coaches Association. This award goes to a male and female athlete at Medford High School who has combined the performance of a champion, the work ethic of a true athlete, and spirit of a Medford Mustang. The recipient of this award is selected by Medford High School coaches. That's a formality now. Now to get personal. I don't want to make this long, but I apologize if it does. This award, this person, I remember when he was a freshman playing on an unbelievable freshman team that won the freshman championship 4 years ago, and I watched him grow. Coach Murata called him up to the varsity to mark one of the best offensive players that year, his sophomore year, and he shut this offensive superstar down. Everything this young man has accomplished on the soccer field had everything to do with hard work, heart, desire, dedication. It's something that Coach Barletta always taught us when I was playing for Coach Barletta.
to be a gentleman, always a gentleman, a good student, and a soccer player. This young man is a 2-year captain, first team GBL All-Star this year, Eastern Mass All-Star, and if I remember 2 years ago when we weren't very good, this young man led our team the day after the season ended, right into captain's practices, and led us to a championship last year. I can't say enough about the young man as a person. I'll always remember him. I'm glad today that I can call him a friend. Many recommendations I wrote and people I've talked to, the best way I can honor a person, if someday Dina and I are blessed with children, I always tell people that I hope my son can be just like this young man. And I give his parents a lot of that credit because they're great people, and I think we all have to commend our parents as they're great people. And I'm sorry I was winded, but I could go on, but Mr. Manatol will kill me. So, Medford High School Coaches Award for the male is C.J. Doherty.
Making the presentation of the Medford High School Coaches Award, the female winner, Ms. Cheryl Fortunato.
Before I announce the winner, I just want to let everybody here know, just especially the girls that are on my team and the rest of the student athletes at the high school, with everything that's been going on in high schools across the country, I'm sure everybody's well aware of what I'm talking about. The reason why I'm so honored to be able to give this award today is because I have gotten to know this young lady over the last 4 years. I have also had the privilege to get to know her parents, who are actively involved in every step that this young lady takes, whether it be picking out her college, whether it be in at every cheerleading game, competition. That's what it's all about. When the parents are involved and you have a relationship with your child like this girl has with her parents, that she can actually call her parents her friends, that's when you know that you have become a successful parent and a successful young lady. I have had the privilege of coaching her. She is probably one of the most mature, respected, level-headed kids I have ever coached. This award states that it must go to a female athlete at Medford High School who has combined the performance of a champion. Some people wince sometimes when they call cheerleaders athletes until they walk into a practice session and see what these young ladies do and how well they perform. She is a champion. She was part of the state championship squad last year and the national championship squad also. You must also have the work ethic of a true athlete. If I read some of the volunteer work that she has done, this is work ethic. She's participated in the Medford Saving Lives Traffic Program. She's been involved in the Medford Kiwanis Jail Day for the past 4 years. She's a volunteer for the Medford Holiday Celebration at City Hall for the past 4 years. She's been a volunteer for the Toys for Tots program for the last 4 years. She's been a volunteer at the Senior Citizens Picnic for the last 4 years. She was helping in the breast cancer awareness in 1998, involved in helping with the Wrights Pond cleanup 1995 to 1997, has participated in the Community Fair Day for the last 4 years, and the list goes on. That's work ethic. That's what it means to be a true champion. It doesn't mean how many wins you have. It means how much you give back to your community. It also says you must have the spirit of a Medford Mustang, and that she does. She wears the blue and white very proudly. I know she was the only girl at the very last competition who turned and started crying and said, "I can't believe it's over now, I'm done." And I said, "You'll never be done. You've been a champion, you've been an honor to coach, and it's with great pride I announce Lauren Cariello."
Our next award is the Harry Smith Award. Making the presentation, our head hockey coach, Mr. Charlie Driscoll.
Thank you very much, Paul. During this evening's dinner, I had a chance to go through the program and read the brief description about who Harry Smith was and what this award is all about. There was one word in those two paragraphs that stuck out like a sore thumb to me in describing tonight's recipient, and that's sportsmanship. This young man is a hockey player, 4 years on the varsity, but he played the game the way it's supposed to be at both ends of the ring. Hard, fair, but win, lose, or draw, he always had his hand out to shake hands with the opposition, and that basically is what the game is all about. Kind of like the game of life. Play it hard, play it fair, but be a sportsman. This young man will not be going to college next year. He's going to travel up to the Greenfield, Winchendon area to attend a fine prep school by the name of Winchendon, which is the defending Division II prep school champion, a two-time GBL All-Star, Hockey Night in Boston All-Star, in both the summer and spring. Number 19, captain of the Mustangs, Sean Sheehan.
Guys, right here. One more.
Our next award is an award that's very near and dear to all of our hearts who knew him. That is the Steve Miller Scholarship. Making the presentation, Mr. Mark Smith.
Every morning when we drive to Medford High School, we drive up the driveway Steve Miller Drive. And every day coming home, whether at 2:30 after the day or later at night after practice, we drive down the same road. The high school was built in 1970. This is the first class graduating from the new building, the first class in 29 years that never had the privilege of knowing Steve Miller. Steve Miller passed away in June when this year's seniors were 8th graders ready to come to Medford High School. For the first time, and unfortunately, you never got to know him. So it's my job tonight to let you know who Steve Miller was, so that when you do drive up the driveway and see that sign, it does mean something. Steve Miller was a unique individual. He loved Medford High School, and for 25 years, he was the heart and soul of Medford High School athletics. He did so many things for so many people, he never realized until he left how much harder coaching Medford High School was when he wasn't there. Steve was a friend of every player on every team, and it didn't matter what you needed. A knee pad, a new pair of cleats, an extra bus for track, a new uniform. It didn't matter who it was for, and it didn't matter why, Steve got it done. Steve Miller defined the term loyalty. And this award, the Steve Miller Award and Scholarship, is given to a Medford High School athlete who displays loyalty. This year's winner, which is selected by all of the coaches at Medford High School, was a captain in the GBL All-Star. That's not why he's getting this award. He's the same type of loyalty that Steve Miller had. A commitment to his team and to the people around him to do whatever they needed and the best he could. We can talk about his 11 varsity letters. He'll probably most be remembered as possibly going on to Hollywood for his imitation of Fast Freddy the last 2 Thanksgivings. But the 1999 Steve Miller Award and Scholarship for loyalty goes to Anthony Berriolo.
right, guys? One more. Guys, ready?
Don't be surprised if he's not in the skit next year, too. Next award is another very special award for us, and we actually honor a great person who is still living and still amongst us, which is great. Next award is the Florinda Saragrosa Award, and making the presentation, the head girls soccer coach, Eva Lang.
It gives me great pleasure to present this Florinda Saragosa Award to this outstanding athlete, who I had the pleasure to coach for the past 3 years. While at Medford High School, she has been a varsity athlete for the girls' soccer team for 4 years. She has played every single minute of every game, and as well as not missing any practices. She is also a 4-year varsity basketball player and a 3-year varsity softball player. This athlete was elected captain for all 3 sports, for all 3 teams, as well as receiving numerous awards. For soccer, I cannot describe in words what it has meant to me and the team with her being a leader on the soccer field. She is one of the reasons why our soccer team is so successful and has qualified for the state tournament for the past 3 years. This athlete is a Greater Boston All-Star in both girls soccer and basketball. She received the Coach's Award in soccer this past fall, as well as the Unsung Hero last year. She will be attending Framingham State next fall and will continue to play soccer and basketball. I can honestly say, in all my years of coaching, this is the only athlete I know who can score 3 goals on her throw-ins. I will miss her very much. With great pleasure, the Florinda Saragosa Award goes to Lauren Campbell.
Our next award is the William Budd Edgley Award. Making the presentation, our head boys basketball coach, Mr. Chris Bartley.
Thank you, Paul. The Edgley Award is presented to the outstanding male athlete at Medford High School. Mr. Edgley was more than just an outstanding athlete. He was a complete person. And that's what I think our recipient is this evening. He's intelligent, he's very competitive, extremely courageous. The following are a list of his credentials. He's a 4-year member of the basketball team, a 3-year member of the football team. He was a 2-year starter in football and a 3-year starter in basketball, being a captain of this year's team. During that time period as a starter, the basketball team has a record of 60-8 and 3 GBL titles and a North Sectional title. Every one of those awards would not have been possible without his efforts. He's a 2-time Greater Boston League All-Star and was the leading senior vote-getter this year in our conference. He was voted the most outstanding player by our coaching staff. He was voted most valuable player of the top 80 senior all-star game. Was voted one of the top 10 senior basketball players in Eastern Massachusetts. He was also recently named Boston Herald All-Scholastic. The interesting thing about this young man is, as we all know, he's tremendously athletic, but he had to endure a severe injury when he was a junior. And the courage and the determination that he showed and displayed to me and to everyone during that time period was really outstanding. And it's a credit to him and also a credit to his wonderful parents and wonderful family that he worked so diligently to get back and become such a prominent member of our basketball program. It's with great pleasure that I tell you he's accepting a basketball scholarship to the University of Massachusetts Lowell. And it was with great pleasure that I announced the Edgerly Award winner goes to Mr. Dwayne DeOilly.
Our next award is the Helen B. Elliott Award. Making the presentation is a former great Medford athlete, great educator, and a woman who trained three of us, Lou Ruggiero, Ron Zimpel, and myself, showed us the proper way to teach physical education, Mrs. Clorinda Saragosa.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of the award winners this evening for great accomplishments, and a very special thank you to all the team players who helped you get to where you are today. Each year I feel so privileged to be present when a trophy is presented in my honor, initiated by my former student, Harry Marchetti. And an even greater honor it is to be able to meet the recipient of that award. There are no words to express my heartfelt thanks. I am also proud to be asked by Mr. Mattertall and Mr. Smith to present the Helen B. Elliott Memorial Award on behalf of the Medford Rotary Club. The Rotary Club also presents a $300 scholarship award to the recipient. I think all of us know we didn't achieve our success all by ourselves. We can reflect back and think of our parents, other family members, friends, church, community, hopefully school, and just maybe a teacher, coach, or mentor who might have made a difference in our lives. Miss Elliott was a teacher who made a difference in my life. She was my teacher at the Roberts and then at Medford High School in the early days of her career. As a teacher of health and physical education, your expectations were not only to be the best that you could be on the playing field, but in everyday life as well. In those days, the words tomboy was tacked on to any girl who dared encroach on the male-dominated world of sport. So in Miss Elliott's classes, we were taught to be proud of our skills, to compete to the best of our ability for the mere joy of playing, a concept I hope I was able to pass on to my students. At the same time, you had to know how to be a lady. Her words still ring in my ears. Know who you are, where you come from, and who you represent. And hats and gloves and teacup skills were all part of the game plan. Skills that came in mighty handy throughout my 37-year teaching career. The young lady who will be receiving this year's honor is someone Miss Elliott would truly be proud of. Her talents and accomplishments are many. She is the kind of person who will continue to accomplish and achieve and go on to even greater heights in fulfilling her dreams. Academically, she has been on the honor roll for most of her high school career and is ranked 34th in her senior class. She has received excellence in English and Italian and has been a National Honor Society member for 2 years, also a recipient of the Merrimack College Book Award. Besides holding down a part-time job, this young lady found time to be a varsity 3-sport athlete for 4 years. In varsity soccer, besides being elected captain her senior year, she also received the distinction of being selected a GBL All-Star for 4 years. an Eastern Mass All-Star for 2 years, and honored as MVP and Unsung Hero. In basketball, she was named MVP, and in softball, selected as captain her senior year. She's been described by her teachers and coaches as a person who is disciplined, determined, quiet, sensitive, has a great sense of humor, is highly motivated, a human dynamo on the playing field, and one who definitely makes a positive impact with her peers. She is a true leader and totally committed to the team concept that together everyone accomplishes more. To help her get started on a future career in business, this young lady will be attending Bentley College in the fall and has been recruited by the soccer coaching staff. I think her soccer coach, Miss Eva Lang, must be busting her buttons right about now. So, as a former student of Miss Ellard, and on behalf of the Medford Rotary Club, it is my distinct honor and privilege to present this year's Helen B. Ellard Memorial Award to Miss Angela Angelieri.
Thank you, Lindsay. Now it's time for the final award of the evening. And for the first time, this award presentation has, in my career anyway, as far as I can remember, has always been made by our former headmaster, Mr. Sal Tadaro. This year, I'm very fortunate and very honored to be given the privilege to make the presentation. This award and scholarship is selected by a vote of all of the head coaches. The football associates provide the money for the scholarship, and I'd like to recognize two of their representatives here tonight, Mr. Chris Leary and Mr. Ron Richard. Thank you very much, gentlemen. As it says in your program, the Richard Phelan Award is presented to an athlete who has demonstrated outstanding qualities and abilities which truly exemplify the late Richard J. Phelan, who was an educator, athlete, and humanitarian. The award goes to a Medford High School senior male student athlete who has combined quality athletic ability with academics, leadership, and citizenship. You heard Coach Smith a little while ago mention the shot list that he had. And the funny thing is, I had also compiled a shot list. I had one extra name on mine. It was one young man that Coach Smith certainly knew but didn't get the honor to coach, and that was Warren Olson. I've been here 17 years, and Warren Olson, Sean Connor, Ed Kahns, and Chris Jones. The last three are the same ones on his list. These young men had very common traits with the gentleman who I have added to my list, and Coach Smith already told you he's added to his list. So our shot list is a little bit longer. These young men are all great athletes. The winner of tonight's award is truly a great athlete. Plays 2 sports at Medford High School. Has been a GBL All-Star in both of them. These young men were great leaders. Tonight's winner is also a great leader. Captain of both of those sports. These young men displayed tremendous toughness, both mentally and physically. I don't mean fighting, I mean mental and physical toughness. Playing through injuries, never complaining, carrying the ball every play and never getting up slow, playing through injuries on the baseball field, playing through bad times, and we've had a few of those this year. A couple of stories. When this young man was nominated for this award, a very eloquent football coach said that if he had to go to Kosovo and could take one person with him, this young man was going with him. Fortunately, Coach Baldini didn't have to go to Kosovo, but he made his point, and I agreed with him. We had a baseball team this year. Our first league game, we lost a heartbreaking game in 11 innings. We were down, and the next team we had to come back against 2 days later was Peabody, the powerhouse of the league. In the practice we had before that Peabody game, we had an unfortunate accident. This young man was running out to man his position as we do in batting practice, carrying a milk crate that we throw the balls into. One of his teammates, who I won't mention, but he's kind of red over there right now, you can probably tell who he is, ran up behind him and tackled him. This young man's face was impaled by the milk crate and suffered what looked like a very serious injury. We had to rush him to the hospital. He was in the hospital till about 9 or 10 o'clock that night. When I saw him when he came out of treatment, he was all sewed up, all swollen up. He said to me, "Coach, I can play tomorrow." And I said, "Well, and you're saying that now, you're all shot up with pain medication. We'll see what happens tomorrow." And I was devastated, and the team was, because we were going to play Peabody without our leader, without the heart and soul of the team. Next day, I saw him in school, and he didn't look too much better. He wasn't talking much better. And I said, "Does it hurt, Pat?" He said, "Only when I smile." I said, "Don't smile, Pat." He saw the trainer gave me okay, he went out and played, he got 3 hits, we beat Peabody 14-2. And that's just one display of his toughness. These gentlemen that I mentioned on the short list were all good students at Medford High School. He's in the top third of his class, taking all high-level classes. Another favorite story, this will embarrass him, but we were playing one of our last scrimmages, and it meant a lot to us. And he was away taking an exam. And the exam started a lot later than he thought. He came flying down Plaisted Road, jumped out of the car. As soon as he got there, I said, "Pat, go out and play shortstop." No warm-ups, no nothing, cold day. Goes out to shortstop. First batter hits a ball in the hole. He dives in the hole, comes up, throws the guy out, ends the inning. Comes running off the field, and I went over to him. I said, "Pat," I said, "that's why you're Pat McCarthy and nobody else is." And he looked me in the eye and he said, "Coach, anything less would be unacceptable." It gives me a great deal of pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to present this award to someone who typifies the Phelan Award, Mr. Pat McCarthy.
Attending tonight. I do need to see the Mustang Club scholarship winners that were announced earlier tonight. I do like to see them and their families for 1 minute before you go. Thank you. Have a safe night home. School starts at 7:45.